maybe if you read it correctly, you can figure out how it works and not have to occupy that subject position. Then there's the whole oppositional subject positions where you fail to be captured in some meaningful way and then are able to enter into some other kind of relation, i.e. the film breaks or is amenable to different. I mean, it seems to me that it is, in some sense, a direct recapitulation of 1960s French structuralist theory, and
perhaps we could then say that this is, as I said, sort of software studies is a fairly new field. I mean, people have been doing this kind of work, but calling it software studies is new. And perhaps then this, if you want to draw the parallel, then this is the sort of early days of software studies in which we're sort of running through parallel arguments that were happening in the early days of other sets of theory, like film studies. In terms of ideology, what's the name? Do you remember the name of the Galloway article, Andy, by chance? Alex Galloway. No, there's an article that Alex Galloway, who spoke here last year, something like software. I mean, it says software and ideology are parallel things, and that sort of unpacks that. I can't remember the title of it.
I'm sure
Wendy Chun has written about this as well, who you worked with. So, yeah, people are talking. I mean, the parallels are there. It's not something I have thought carefully enough about yet, but I'm at early stages here. So, and the form content one is the big sticking point. I mean, I'm glad that you guys have raised it because clearly I don't have a very good answer for it, and possibly at MLA I will have to have a better answer. Omar?
Yeah.
We have time.
I wanted to speak to her situation. She said, like, if you're at the university, there are different software interactions that you have as faculty or student. You don't necessarily feel that you have the skills to navigate your way through. And I was wondering if there was any type of forum for people to openly ask questions to just everyone.
In general, like
a Yammer or a Twitter sphere or anything like that.
Yeah, well, Twitter's often used for these kinds of problems, where we often used to Google and sometimes still do a sort of, you get an error message in Word that is gobbledygook. You copy paste it into Google and you hope that someone else has found it. Well, Twitter, if you follow the right people, can be a really useful tool for this because you can say, has anybody ever seen this? One of your friends says, yes, I have, here's how to fix it. Right? I mean, there are all kinds of spaces to do that. In Ellen's situation, there probably isn't, but the next step is help desk, right? Pick up the phone or email the help desk. And another thing to consider that a sort of critical software literacy would bring you is the ability to converse with someone at the help desk more intelligently, in a more informed way. That doesn't say, like, what I think you need to do. It's missing a curly bracket on line 26 of the code. You don't have to say that. You don't have access to that. But what you can say is, here's what I think is going wrong. And I think it's because the software is making this kind of assumption about the situation. I feel like, at the very least, you can have a more informed discussion with someone if you've thought about how software works. And I feel like, more often than not, we don't do that. We just call up and say, this is what happened. And I want you to fix it now. Please. Sometimes we say please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to invite you to come next week, Tuesday, to hear David Strauss, who talks about college student development and social networking immediately. Why students participate, what they need to learn, and strategies for educating students on proper use, and some of his ideas generated here might so thank you so much.